starting defense. It's brought to you by Tim Hortons. A little bit of changes with the left-hander Kyle Ryan. You got Franklin Gutierrez in left, Jackson in center, Nelson Cruz out in right field. Chris Taylor is going to take over at short, Cano at second. Logan Morrison and Kyle Seager rounds out the corners, and then Mike Zunino will do the catching of Taijuan Walker.
And so the Tigers won it last night in game one of this road trip and this series, convincingly 12-5, and they're back at it again here tonight. Brad Ausmus's team checking into this ball game this evening with a record of 42-40. Ian Kinsler will start things off for the Tigers. It'll be Kinsler, Cespedes, and Victor Martinez.
Well, Ian, the only Tiger in the lineup last night without a hit, so he's going to have to show his teammates that he's going to get his tonight.
Yeah, Kinsler last night was 0 for 5, and on a night in which your team has 19 hits, that stings a little bit. Walker is ready to go to work, and here we go. The first pitch of the ball game is bunted toward third base, and it's going to be barehanded. The throw will hit the runner, and safe at first base is Kinsler. So that's the way to bust up an 0 for 5 from last night.
Well, not a bad idea. You kind of hope that you can catch the third baseman Kyle Seager sleeping a little bit. He makes a nice play and probably would have had him out, but throws right at Kinsler's legs. So Ian, leadoff man, on for Detroit.
Here is Yoenis Cespedes, the Tigers left fielder. 2 hits in the ball game last night, including a long home run. Tigers were hitting him out of the ballpark last night like this was Camden Yards or something. The ball was flying. First one is in there for a strike, 0-1. Yoenis, 294 on the year. He is in the final vote. Tigers hoping to get him into the All-Star game. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled straight back, 0-2 on Cespedes.
Last night, Yoenis hit an absolute laser off of Iwakuma. See his swing, hands way out front, just crushes the ball in the left center field. One of the 4 Tiger home runs in last night's game.
Yeah, they were all solo shots last night. Walker a long look at first base. Now he'll step off, chasing Kinsler back. Taijuan Walker is only 22 years old. He won't be 23 until August the 13th. He's a big kid, too. 6'2", 235 out of Shreveport. Ooh, that's up and in, spinning Cespedes out of the box.
Yeah, born in Shreveport, grew up in California, signed out of high school. He is a big, strong right-hander and very compact delivery. It's not a whole lot different out of the stretch than it is the windup. Kind of like David Price, very short steps, simple delivery.
We are seeing more and more of these types of deliveries, even in the windup, Jack, and a lot of guys are doing it. You talk about Price.
Yeah, especially the taller guys. I think it's important that they keep things simple because your mechanics can really get out of whack the taller and the bigger you are.
Oh, they got it picked off. Kinsler was picked clean. He'll get himself in a rundown, but he's going to be out, 1 away. It's almost as if Kinsler just froze at first base.
It was almost like he was looking at Dave Clark for the signs instead of watching the pitcher, and yeah, he was absolutely surprised by that one.
He'll go as a caught stealing 1-3-4. Cespedes lets go with the bat. He swings and strikes out. 2 gone.
Look at the pitch right there. Breaking ball in the dirt. Cespedes way out in front, number 1, and just can't hang on to the bat.
So just like that, 2 away now for Victor Martinez. Martinez was also instrumental in last night's victory, a 4-hit game for Victor. And unlike Castellanos, who had his first career 4-hit game last night, for Victor, that was his 15th 4-hit game. Martinez now has the average up to 264. Walker missed inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
So many of the Tiger hitters had very good nights last night, and Victor, one of them, had a home run himself.
It's one of those nights when you have a very messy score sheet, but at least it was the good guys that had the messy side.
A lot easier to watch and call games, to be a fan when your team is the one scoring the runs.
There's Castellanos, who put together the 4-hit game with a home run. Here's the 1-2. High fly ball. Shallow left field, playable for Gutierrez. And that is that for Detroit. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left. Seattle, the Tigers, or the Mariners starting lineup rather, is presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. For Seattle, Jackson, Gutierrez, and Cano at the top. Cruz, Seager, and Trumbo in the middle of their lineup. Logan Morrison is down to 7th tonight. 11 home runs this season. Homer to the ball game last night. Zunino and Taylor rounded out for Seattle. They're facing Kyle Ryan, presented tonight by Family Heating Cooling at Electrical.
Well, Kyle Ryan making his 5th start. He needs to pound the strike zone. Got roughed up a little in his last start. Gave up a couple runs against Pittsburgh. Only threw 4 innings. Walked 5.
Yeah, the 5 base on balls is something that really stood out from that last start. Hopefully better tonight here in Seattle. Austin Jackson leading it off for the Mariners. Jackson last night was 1 for 4. He did have a base on ball. 254 this year for the former Tiger. It's been a really rough month of July for Jackson. 3 for 21 this month. That's in there for a strike called, and Jackson is quickly out of there. 1 gone.
Take a look at the Tigers starting defense. That's presented by Bill Fox Chevrolet. Pretty much the same defense as last night, with the exception of the newly acquired Mark Krause at first base. Got Cespedes, Ghost, and Martinez in the outfield. Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler at second base, and Alex Avila behind the plate.
Here is Franklin Gutierrez. Batting .267 in just 7 games this year with the big club. Was in AAA earlier this year. And Gutierrez looks at a strike. And Kyle coming out of the bullpen throwing strikes in this one here tonight.
Well, that'll put a smile on his pitching coach's face for sure. You know, that Jeff Jones is concerned about him just kind of getting out of the zone, nibbling a little too much and falling behind hitters. And I think it's a hard thing, but it's something that all young pitchers have to learn. Kyle only making his 5th start here this year. You've got to trust your stuff. Go after the hitters. It got you to the big leagues. It's going to keep you in the big leagues. And throwing balls and getting behind will not keep you in the big leagues.
Here's the 1-1. Bouncing ball to short. That'll be routine for the All-Star Iglesias. 2 up, 2 down.
Good job for Kyle, trusting his defense. He's got some pretty good gloves out there, especially up the middle. And if he can throw a few ground balls like that, it'll help his pitch count get deep into the game.
Yeah, not a bad idea to pitch to contact when you have guys like Kinsler and Iglesias up the middle.
Ghost can run him down out in center.
Yeah, no doubt. Here is Robinson Cano. Couple of hits in the ball game last night. Cano hammers one in the air toward left. Cespedes going back to the track. Waiting now, and that is that for Seattle. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Let's go to the second. He has put up this season, had another big game last night.
Well, he continues to drive the ball, picked up another home run. He's on an unbelievable pace right now. And he's got such great extension, strong kid. He made his first All-Star team. He's all excited, as are we.
Martinez, 11 home runs in his last 13 games. He'll drive this one in the air to center. Playable, though, for Jackson. And Walker, 1 pitch, 1 out.
And Walker coming right after him, got in his kitchen a little bit there. That fastball was able to stay off the sweet part of the bat, got in on him a little bit.
It's got to be a great feeling for a pitcher to get that first out of the inning on just 1 pitch.
Greatest pitch in the game. First pitch, 1 out.
Well, here is Avila. He's batting .208. A couple of home runs this year for Alex. Here's how they play him defensively. Shifting to the right side.
Yeah, a lot of teams have got the severe shift on. They're just sort of slightly shading him to the right side. There's a big hole there at shortstop. They got Taylor kind of playing right up the middle.
Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. 94 on the gun there for Walker.
Elevated that fastball, and it's hard to stay on top for any hitter. You get a fastball in the mid-90s up around the letters. To keep your hands on top of the ball is tough. They're going right back up there.
Taijuan Walker. We mentioned his numbers in his last 7, a 1.68 ERA. The reason his overall ERA is elevated this year, Walker had a couple of early starts this season in which he gave up 9 runs in a game and 7 runs in another. Otherwise, his earned run average for the year would be sparkling.
Well, he's been among the game's best since May 29th.
Fouled away.
You see the numbers there since May 29th. First in wins, first in strikeouts over walk ratio. He's pounding the strike zone, gaining confidence. I think that's what that shows. He's got a very, very live arm. Big, strong kid, throws strikes. Not a bad formula.
It'll bounce in 2-2 now on Avila. That 9-run game was his first start of the year against the Athletics. 9 earned runs in 3 1/3, and well, he was able to bounce back from that.
And there's probably a good chance that that was nerves, just the experience of it all.
Outside and high, and the count fills now on Avila. 3-2. Walker gave up a bunt single in the first inning with no damage done. And he lost him, ball 4. So Avila fell behind in the count and now ends up walking. That'll bring up Nick Castellanos. And it also brings us to our Bernstein advantage as we want to talk about Castellanos and what he has been able to do in his last 12 games. I mean, the numbers have really been striking for Nick.
Yeah, that's getting the act together right there. You've been struggling for a while. He was at the point where Brad Ausmus wanted to rest him and try to figure out what to do with him. And since that last 12 games, he has really turned it up.
He straightens up Castellanos. Now Zunino calls time. So it's going to bring to an end a walkless streak that, based on balls for Taijuan Walker, his first walk in 28 2/3 innings, a 111 batter stretch. Wow.
That's pretty impressive. And Alex Avila being the guy to bust that up.
For a young guy that throws hard, really impressive strikes. High drive in the air to center field. Jackson cruising back, still going. Track, Wall looks up, and Castellanos remains red hot. It's a 2-run homer to dead central.
Just another great swing for Nick. Gets a fastball up out over the plate. And a lot like J.D. Martinez, he is locked in right now. Just a nice, easy swing. Watch how still his head is. Just absolutely keeps his eye on the ball.
That looked pretty effortless right there.
Yeah, it was a lot of that power there supplied by the pitch. But great swing for Nick, and man, stay hot, kid.
Yeah, no kidding. Tigers pick up where they left off last night. Here's Mark Krause in his first Tigers at bat. By the way, the home run for Castellanos, number 6 on the year. Krause takes a ball outside, 1-1. Claimed off the waiver wire from the Tampa Bay Rays, was also with the Angels earlier this year. Swing and a miss. Now Walker with the 1-2. Missed it high, 2-2 the count.
Well, the Tigers designated for assignment Josh Wilson to make room for Mark Krause. And Krause, another guy that they feel can fill Miggy's spot for a while, a left-handed hitter.
3-2 is hammered to right field. That ball is hit well. It might go. That ball's out of here.
Welcome to the Tigers.
Mark Krause in his first at bat in the Old English D, homers to right. How do you like that? 3-0 Tigers.
You want to win friends and influence people in your first at bat? You do that. Go ahead and smile. Come on, you haven't done that all that often. Another nice swing.
So the Tigers go back-to-back, Castellanos and Krause, and they lead 3-0. That is ripped foul down the right field line. The Tigers, and Krause more specifically, was just so happy to be here when he learned the Tigers had claimed him off the waiver wire. He was back home in Ohio, and he was just excited to be here. Well, he's probably more than that right now.
Sometimes this game is about second chances, and I'm sure he's been in the game long enough to understand what this role is all about. Going to make the best of his opportunity. And all I can say is you deserve to smile. Have a little fun. You just hit a home run.
Bouncer back up the middle. Cano throws out Ghosts. Krause had 1 home run with the Angels this year. So this is only his second of the season, and his new teammates say, way to go. The new guy contributing.
He just set the bar pretty high. So
yeah.
Now we're going to expect that.
Every single at bat. Ground ball to short on the backhand there, Taylor, and Iglesias is out by a step. Inning over, not before the Tigers do damage. Back-to-back homers, Castellanos and Krause. Three nothing. Yeah, that's right. Clap, young man. You just saw Castellanos and Krause go deep. Tigers with back-to-back homers for the first time since yesterday. And the Tigers off and running again here tonight. Here is Nelson Cruz to get it started in the second. And Cruz looks at a strike from Kyle Ryan, who had a snappy first inning. Not much success last night for Cruz, who's 0 for 4. He punched out 3 times. Now the 0-1.
That's just what Kyle Ryan needs to do. His team just spotted him 3. One of the runs came in via the walk, the first walk that Taijuan Walker has given up in almost 30 innings, and it hurts him.
Got him. Strike 3, and Cruz is caught looking one away. Let's check in with their good buddy Mickey York now. Mick.
All right, Mario, thank you. Is Vote Yo trending on Twitter yet? It must be. Tigers players have been blowing this thing up all day long. Everybody from David Price to Ian Kroll and James McCann trying to get Yoenis Cespedes to the All-Star game. Of course, it's called the final fan vote for a reason, because the fans have to vote for it, and it's easy to do. Go to Tigers.com, cast your 2015 insurance MLB All-Star Game final vote, and that'll send Yoenis to the All-Star Game in Cincinnati. Vote now. Vote often. Voting ends 4 p.m. Eastern on Friday, July 10th. Got it, guys?
All right, and vote yo.
Vote yo.
Vote yo. Hey, by the way, the last Tiger to win the final vote, Brandon Inge, in 2009 went to the All-Star Game. Hopefully Mr. Cespedes will join his 4 other teammates that'll be there. No balls, 1 strike on Kyle Seager, batting here with 1 out of the second. And Seager backs out of there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Seager 12 home runs this year. Had a base on balls, but was 0 for 4 in last night's game. Ripped towards second over the head of Kinsler into right field. First hit of the ball game tonight for Seattle. Now Mark Trumbo.
Pretty good on first pitch strikes. That's what they need him to do. Work ahead. He's got a lead to work with. He elevated that breaking ball a little bit. So what, right? Base hit. Now just get a ground ball up the middle. You got some great defenders there. Mark Trumbo in there tonight as the DH.
And a bouncing ball short. Iglesias flips to second one, and there's your 6-4-3. Nice call there, Jack. Inning over. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. As we go to the top of the third here in Seattle. Taijuan Walker gave up a couple of home runs. The walk, though, to Alex Avila got him in trouble in the second. Kinsler had a bunt single in the first inning, but then was picked off. He looks at strike 1. Kinsler, Cespedes, and Victor Martinez, top 3 in the Detroit lineup.
I think hitters have to have a different mindset when they know that a guy is going to be around the plate. It's primarily fastball, slider, fastball, curveball from Taijuan Walker. And there's not a big separation in speed, although he does have a fairly good breaking ball. You can get it up there, but when you know he's going to pound the strike zone, hitters can go up there looking to swing early in the count.
And a wave and a miss, and Kinsler is out of there. 1 away here in the third. We remind you to stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select our Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's Big Mac and 10-piece McNuggets. And if it's like last night, you could have a hard time picking your Tiger player of the game. We already have a couple of guys, in Castellanos and Krause, that have done some damage. Here is Cespedes. Foul back out of play. You know, Jack, you probably could vote for the broadcasters if you wanted for Tigers player of the game. It's in the rules.
They would have to be in the TV booth. Number one, those guys over on the radio side, I don't know.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Bouncing ball toward the third baseman. Seager, nice play, got him by half a step.
Well, he's going to have to get rid of the ball quickly and make an accurate throw, and he does just that. Cespedes doing a good job getting down the line. 2 quick outs now for Taijuan Walker.
Seager, a Gold Glover last year. Here's Victor Martinez. One of the first things that Victor does every time he walks in the batter's box is he draws a line parallel to the line that goes right next to home plate. A straight line from bottom to top, actually. I guess it just kind of gives him a little bearing on where he wants to stand. He is deep in the box. And he backs away from a pitch inside.
He's definitely got a routine. And with the new speed up rules, he stays in the box to do that routine. He used to step out of the box. But I can admit that I think he's sped up his little routine. You know, it's more a habit, I think, for a lot of guys. The way they touch certain parts of the uniform and tug on this. And Victor always has that pine tar on one of his 2 shoulders.
Do you have any routines on the mound? Tug of the bill of the cap? I'm trying
to
think.
The only thing I did, which I don't even know why I did it, I always kicked off the dirt off the rubber itself.
Really?
And looking back, we'll talk about that next time.
And Seager will bring it in for out number 3. 1-2-3 inning for Taijuan Walker. Comerica Bank, raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. Dodge, find your summer of performance with great deals at the Dodge Summer Clearance Event. And by Stacy's Chips, that's the Stacy's way, and we're not messing with it. It is the Fremont Bridge. And the Tigers have themselves a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the 3rd as we welcome you back to Seattle on another gorgeous night. Weather has been kind of balmy here. Somewhat Florida-like. First one fouled back out of play. No balls, 1 strike on Logan Morrison. Kyle Ryan again pounding the strike zone.
Doing a good job of getting ahead in the count. And it doesn't seem to matter if it's right-handers or left-handers.
And that's a big departure from what we saw out of Alfredo Simon last night, who struggled in falling behind hitters. 1-1 on Morrison.
And the time, the pace of the game.
Yeah.
Alfredo just seemed like, when you got 7 pitches and your catcher doesn't know which one to call, I'm not sure he knew which one to throw at times. Long time in between pitches.
Anyway, you were talking about.
Yeah, my habits on the mound. I used to kick the dirt off the rubber. And looking back, I wish I wouldn't have done that. In fact, I would have probably preferred to have covered up the dirt, because with size 13 feet, I could have put my heel on the rubber and stepped forward and gained a foot.
Yeah, a foot.
59 feet 6 inches instead of 60 feet 6 inches.
That would have made your fastball.
Just think of that.
Yeah. Your fastball would have gone from 82 to 83.
I would have struck out everybody.
3 balls, 1 strike.
Okay, that was a stretch too.
Yeah, it was. The Morrison, Zunino, and Taylor here against Kyle Ryan. Fouled back out of play. Morrison homered in the ball game last night, had 3 RBIs, and gave the Mariners a 5-3 lead. But boy, Iwakuma could not hold on to it. The Tigers just jumped him in the very next half inning. Scored 5 times and seized control of the game. And he missed inside. Ryan issues a walk. Leadoff man on. Game break time. We check in with Johnny Kane. All right, thanks very much, Johnny. And here's what it looks like in the Central. Tigers have 2 teams ahead of them. One of them, the Twins, they'll see this weekend. Grounder back up the middle into center field, base hit. Zunino with a single, and now the Mariners have 2 on, nobody out.
Well, he got the ground ball that he wanted, but it wasn't at Iglesias, just got by him on his left glove hand side. And now he's going to look for the same ground ball, only this time hit right at an infielder.
Chris Taylor batting just .154 in 23 games this year. Starting at shortstop in this game. Miller started last night for Seattle. And showing bunt, he'll look at a strike. So the Mariners trying to get a couple of guys in scoring position with their number 9 hitter up there. Taylor has 1 RBI. No sign of bunt there, and it's a ball, 1-1.
Taylor was a real good glove man, went to Virginia, signed in the 5th round in June of 2012.
He'll slice one to right field, a base hit. They're going to hold the runner at third. Morrison will stop there, and now the bottom of the lineup leading a charge for Seattle. They are loaded up.
Let's take a look at the pitch from Kyle Ryan. Let's see, it's pretty much center cut down the middle of the plate. He just shoots it to right field. Taylor does. And this is where you're going to find out what you're made of. You got yourself a 3-run lead. Started the inning with a major mistake, a leadoff walk. That's never good. Then back-to-back base hits. Top of the order now for Seattle.
Here is Jackson, who struck out in the first inning. Struck out looking, as a matter of fact. Jackson tried to hold up, couldn't do it. Strike 1.
That fastball right there clocked at 88 miles an hour, but you can see how it just tied up Austin Jackson. It was like he was looking for something off speed, and that ball got up on him way quicker than he expected.
get back out of play.
And good for Alex Avila, veteran catcher that he is. He recognized that too. And as a pitcher, Kyle Ryan should have recognized that. They went right back in there with a fastball, and it tied up Austin Jackson again. Now with 2 strikes, you have the ability to try to expand the zone and keep the ball down. Alex is going to have to block a ball that's in the dirt, but you've got a chance to get him fishing. See what they do here.
Drill deep to left field. This ball is going to go. It's a grand slam for Austin Jackson. And Seattle has the lead.
Let's take a look at the pitch. It was down, a breaking ball. You can see where Alex was trying to catch that ball, but it stayed out over the plate too much. You've got to send that ball inside more to get him to swing over top of it, or the worst case scenario, he hits a foul ball, but that ball left over the middle of the plate too much, even though it was down.
Jackson hits his 4th home run of the season against his former teammates. A grand slam, make it 4-3 Seattle. There's the ball high and away. 2-0 on Franklin Gutierrez. Boy, that'll put a big smile on Jackson's face, who really was scuffling here in the month of July. Just 3 for his last 22. Ryan's 2-0. Sale back out of play.
Well, I'm not sure you can call this a pitcher-friendly ballpark, especially when it's warm like this. Balls are really flying out of here.
Well, yeah. I mean, last night, Tigers hit a bunch of solo home runs. Entering last night's game, this was the 2nd lowest scoring ballpark in the American League. 3 balls, 1 strike. Last night, the 2 teams combined for 17 runs, 28 hits. And they're off and running again today. Here's the 3-1. That's drilled. Right center field. This one might go. And it will. It is back-to-back home runs for Seattle. Franklin Gutierrez hits his 1st of the year the other way.
Well, another ball left out over the plate. You're 3-1. You've got to throw a strike. You can't afford to walk another guy. He hasn't recorded an out this inning. Jeff Jones, I'm not sure what he can say right now other than that, hey kid, let's start all over. Let's take a look at that pitch. Ooh, that's the whooping zone right there, and Gutierrez does his part in getting those hands out in front. Great extension, classic swing right there.
So 5 straight Seattle hitters reach. Still nobody out, and it all started with the leadoff walk to Logan Morrison. And right now the M's bench enjoying it.
It's kind of reminiscent of the 6th and 7th inning for Detroit last night.
Yeah, Seattle took a 5-3 lead in that game. And then the Tigers came right back. Here's Robinson Cano, still nobody out. Ball 1 to Cano.
I think it's right-hander Alex Wilson getting up and throwing now in the Tiger bullpen.
Rounded toward first, fair ball, fielded there by Kraus. Cano is out. 1 gone. Alex Wilson is indeed warming up in the Detroit bullpen. So the Mariners go back-to-back for the 4th time this season. Hadn't done it since early May, though. Here's Nelson Cruz. Ball 1 to Cruz.
One of the few changeups that Kyle Ryan has thrown.
Cruz struck out 3 times last night, struck out in his first at bat tonight. And now Kyle has gone 2-0. Cruz drives one towards center field, goes on the move, over his head, all the way to the wall. And Cruz has himself a 1-out double. And Seattle is not missing much right now.
Well, this is another ball that's very difficult for Anthony Ghost to judge. When you have line drives hit right at you, it's hard sometimes to know whether you take your first step in or back. And I think he took the first step in, and that ball carried over his head. And the troubles continue now for Kyle Ryan here in the third.
So here's the 8th man to bat in the inning, and still only 1 out. Kyle Seager will try and get this run in. Seager fouls it away. He singled in his first at bat. That is 6 hits now on the board for Seattle, erasing a 3-0 Tigers lead. One ball, 1 strike. Seager hit 2 in the lineup last night, and they've got him 5th with the lefty on the mound tonight. One and 2 now on Seager. Had a big year last year.
Important at bat right here for Kyle. This could be his last hitter. If he doesn't get out the left-hander, there's a good chance that Brad Ausmus will go to the pen, get the right-hander to pitch to Trumbo.
Seager waits on a 1-2. In the air toward left center field, Ghost on the move, but Cespedes cuts in front and makes the catch. 2 gone. The runner holds at second base. Well, time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag Detroit DataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, that's going to be it for Kyle Ryan, it appears, with Mark Trumbo coming up. And Ryan will give up the baseball. Wallside windows pitching change early in this one. And Seattle has a 5-3 lead. than a runner aboard. And Saturday, Tigers are in Minnesota to take on the Twins in a game you can only see on Fox Sports 1 beginning at 4 p.m. Eastern. Then at 7 p.m. Eastern, it's baseball night in America. The Yankees take on the Red Sox on your local Fox station. It's all this week on your home for baseball every Saturday, Fox and Fox Sports 1. So Wilson will take over now for the Tigers.
He's been busy. He's pitched in 29 games, 30th game here.
And he didn't get to the Tigers till the end of the first month. He will try and get Mark Trumbo. And Trumbo looks at a strike. Back-to-back home runs in this inning for Seattle, Jackson and Gutierrez. Jackson's was a grand slam. Trumbo hit into a double play in his first at bat. Here's the 0-1. 0-2 on Trumbo. He broke into the big leagues with a bang in his days with the Angels. He's a Southern California kid, went to Villa Park High School, which is not too far from the Big A, and got his opportunity with the Angels, his hometown team. Hit a lot of home runs for the Halos.
Drove in a lot of runs.
Now the 0-2. Just off the plate, 1-2 on Trumbo. There was the thought that Trumbo would provide them, Jack, with some offense, some much needed offensive support in this lineup. But just haven't been able to get it going.
Well, we went to Arizona and they were hoping for the same thing. Now here in Seattle, I wonder if a guy is going to catch back on.
Swing and miss, and Wilson does his job. He strikes out Trumbo, ending the inning, but a big inning for Seattle. Network broadcasting to U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and at ships at sea. We welcome you all. We're in Seattle tonight as we go to the top of the fourth inning. Now, Taijuan Walker is pitching with the lead for the first time in this game.
Yeah, it's very similar to last night's game. The Mariners spotted Hisashi Iwakuma a 2-run lead, and he was not able to hold the Tigers down. Right now, Taijuan Walker spotted with a 2-run lead.
He will face Martinez Avila Castellanos here in the Tigers' fourth. 1 ball, 2 strikes on J.D. Martinez. Fly to center field in his first at bat. 7-game hitting streak now for Martinez. 2-2. JD's longest hitting streak of the year was 11. He did that back in early May.
That pitch right there is the one that I've been wondering how JD will handle it. Very few pitchers this year have come in belt high on JD with a good hard fastball. And you can see that it got in off the label a little bit.
See if this one stays in play. Morrison back to the railing, can't pull it in.
It stayed in play, but Morrison just not able to get to the railing. JD gets another shot. That's where you just start hearing voices. You just know that you're there, but you're really not.
Drilled to left field. That ball is up, and it's going to be off the wall, the base of the wall. JD Martinez with a leadoff double, so he gets extra life, and he comes through.
Let's take a look at our Bill Tyer pitch by pitch. Starts him off the fastball, and then he comes back in with another one. That's the fastball, those last two that you kind of wondered about. Got away with one there, and then he throws the breaking ball. And JD meets it out in front of the plate. Another great swing right there. Leadoff double for JD Martinez. The Tigers are not through yet.
Here is Avila as Martinez extends his hitting streak to 8 straight. Avila fouls it away 0-1. I was looking at the numbers on Alex Avila. He came in with a batting average of .208, yet his on-base percentage was .360, which means he's taking his walks.
Yep.
Which he did in the second and eventually scored in the home run by Castellanos.
Well, Brad has kind of thrown him right back in the fire. James McCann was doing a very good job behind the plate, and you thought maybe they would platoon him more. Day game coming up tomorrow. There's a chance that McCann will catch Sanchez in the day game tomorrow and give Alex a day off.
Alex did have a couple of games at first base in place of Cabrera. Here's the 1-1. It's a strike called 1-2 now on Avila. A double by Martinez gives the Tigers 4 hits on the evening. Just off the plate. Walker wanted the strikeout there. Did not get the call from Kerwin Danley.
Zunino does a nice job of trying to frame this ball. It's clearly off the plate. And Alex does a good job of taking that pitch. Not much he was going to be able to do with it.
Fly ball. Left field. Gutierrez back to the track, to the wall. Avila has gone deep. And the Tigers answer right back with a double and a homer.
Buckle up, folks.
5-5 ball game. That is the 3rd home run of the night for the Tigers.
Yeah, 5th home run of this ball game. Bombs away. See where he wanted the ball up and in, and you see where the ball ends up. A whooping zone out over the plate, belt high, and Alex does just a great job. He can go the other way. He's got some power that way. This ball just carried. Watching Gutierrez, you could see that he knew that was out of here.
Castellanos, Krause, and Avila have homered. And the Tigers have tied this one up at 5. And just like they did last night when they fell behind, they have come back, and now we'll see if they can go ahead. Still nobody out.
Well, Kyle Ryan spits the hook there. He was in position to get the L if the Tigers didn't get back on track, but by tying the game now he'll get a no decision. And Alex Wilson will be the pitcher of record as we go along here.
Castellanos with a 2-run homer back in the second. And Nick skies one in the air to right field. This will stay in the ballpark. Cruz under it. First out of the inning. Now the Tigers are swinging the bats here against a kid in Taijuan Walker who really was pitching as good as anybody in the league.
Well, it's a day and age where you just get to learn. There's so much information you can gather. There's film, and they know this guy's got a good live arm, throws a lot of fastballs. The Tigers are a pretty good fastball hitting team, so when you know a guy's throwing a lot of fastballs and he's not walking anybody, you're going up there swinging.
Well, in 12+ innings in this series, we've had 7 home runs for what has been known as a pitcher's ballpark. But I think what we have seen is the temperature heats up, which it has really been really hot here the last couple of days. Ball will fly. Walker's 0-2. Missing high to Mark Krause. There have been 7 Tigers since 1974 to homer in their first at bat with the team. And they'll go down swinging this time. 2 gone. Walker gets another strikeout.
That's number 3 for Walker.
Here's Anthony Gose. Some of the Tigers were saying during batting practice before the ball game yesterday, the ball seemed to be jumping off their bats. So I think they kind of had an idea that it might be jumping in the series. I didn't think it'd be jumping this much though.
Weather has a lot to do with the way the ball carries. This is it's the northernmost city in America, really. Way up here on almost the Canadian border in the northwest. And early in the spring, you get that damp, cool air coming off the coast, and balls don't carry at all. And now, kind of a still, no wind, hot, warm, humid, a little bit humid for here, and balls just fly out of here. I remember Tiger Stadium being a lot like that. Come June, July, August, when it heated up, keep the ball on the ground. Look at this.
Here's a drive into right field. Not going to be deep enough, though. And that'll settle into the glove of Nelson Cruz. However, the Tigers have tied this one up thanks to Alex Avila. Opposite field, 2-run shot. Period. Bell Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks. From Myers, sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. There is Mount Rainier in all of its glory. This might be one of the more scenic areas in the country, if not the most.
It's a beautiful place when it's not raining.
True. Very good point on your part. Alex Avila getting the job done with a 2-run shot to tie it up. Wilson goes to work now, and his first one is pounded back out of play by Logan Morrison.
And bottom of the fourth, let's start all over. Give both teams 5 runs, and it's all tied up.
Morrison, Zunino, and Taylor. This was the trio that got it started prior to the grand slam by Jackson in the third. They've got a play to pull on the infield. Wilson's 0-1. Morrison came into this game batting just a .152 over his previous 19, but as we saw last night, he has the ability to reach the seats. Pop this one up. Iglesias, the Lone Ranger on the left side of the infield, hauls it in. One gone. Time for a game break now. Here's Johnny Kane. Boy, the Royals, man, they are rolling again. They're trying to sweep a doubleheader there.
Yeah, they're a good baseball team. Solid defense, very good bullpen. They seem to know how to score when they need to.
Here's the question on the Royals, though, and you and I have talked about this. How long can they get 5, 6 innings out of their starters?
Well, how long can the bullpen be as good as they have?
That'll be an easy play for Kinsler. When you're not going deep into games, eventually those innings will pile up at the back end.
They certainly have used the big three, Herrera, Davis,
Holland.
and Holland. You know, they've got their set roles, 7, 8, 9. So it's a matter of whether they use Hulshaver or the left-hander. I'm sorry, haven't.
Finnegan?
No, Finnegan's not there right now.
Oh, he's not. That's drilled right field, hit well. This one is going to be off the wall, over the wall, and that'll be a 2-base hit.
Franklin Morales.
Oh, Morales. That'll be a 2-out double for Taylor.
Yeah, let's take another look at this pitch. Center cut again, and it's good when you have a big lead to be able to pound the strike zone, but you've got to try to do a better job of finding a third, inside or outside.
So the number 9 hitter, Taylor, came in batting a .154. He has a single and a double. Now here's Jackson, who hit the grand slam in his last at bat. Ball 1 low.
I noticed that Alex Wilson is starting to open up a little bit. I think he did a little bit better job when he first was called up by Detroit of staying closed. And like a lot of pitchers, you start getting a little fatigued, your legs get a little tired, and the natural instinct is to fly open a little bit with your upper body. He's got to keep that left shoulder closed a little bit longer, drive and have his energy go towards home.
Coming into this appearance, Wilson had thrown over 43 innings, almost 44 innings in 29 appearances. Now, he did have that one start against the A's in which he went 3 innings. Here's the 1-1.
Brad Ausmus must have a lot of confidence in him, because he is always one of the first guys up in the pen. And he's been asked several times to go multiple innings. He's not just a 1-inning guy out there.
Tigers got some really good performances last night. Blaine Hardy was good. Rondon in the 9th inning struck out the side. And even Ian Kroll.
Yeah, they all did well. And that saved the game for Alfredo Simon. But it'll be up to the pen tonight.
2-1 on Jackson. 3-1 on Jackson. All 10 of the runs scored in this game tonight have come via the home run. 10 homers in the series for these two teams.
I think it's safer to stay up here.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, let's just stay up here.
3-1 pitch, and he lost in ball 4. A couple of 2-out base runners for Seattle.
So Alex Wilson issues his first walk, coming with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Here is Franklin Gutierrez, who went back-to-back with Jackson, a solo shot in the 3rd. Gutierrez back in the big leagues after missing 2014 with a condition, arthritic condition in his hips and lower body. It's something he'll have to deal with the rest of his life. But they've gotten to the point now where it's under control, where he's able to play at this level. When he first got to the big leagues, he looked like a good-looking prospect.
Well, he was. I mean, he had the arm. He had the power that we've already seen here tonight. He could run him down in the outfield. He was one of those guys projected to become a very good plus player here at the big league level.
He was hitting extremely well down in Tacoma. Their AAA team, 7 homers and a .317 batting average. A strike on the outer edge. Gutierrez didn't like it. Little silent protest there.
We call this a pitcher's pitch. When you hit the corner, even Fox tracks like it. That would be Mr. Fox.
That's right. And on the broadcast here, he's referred to as Mr. Fox Stripes. Got to show due respect.
He's never wrong.
Never wrong.
Must be an umpire.
2 balls, 1 strike. That comment seemed to be dripping with sarcasm.
A little bit, perhaps.
Two balls, 1 strike on Franklin Gutierrez. I'm not asking you to name names here, but were there certain umpires when you pitched that you knew when you were going out it was going to be a long day? Or it was going to be tougher?
No question. There was a few guys. One guy had the initials Dale Ford. And if Dale's listening, you know, I still love you.
Well, I guess you are going to name names.
Well, what the heck? I'm not hiding.
He had the initials Dale Ford. 2-2 on Gutierrez, and he fouls it straight back. Well, what made it so difficult? His strike zone was a little bit tight.
Well, I can't tell you that story on the air, but let's put it this way. He got even. He got more than even.
Gutierrez battling Wilson here.
Mario, those were different days.
They were, weren't they?
You know, pitchers were able to holler and yell and maybe argue a little bit more. You don't see that happen anymore, and that's probably a good thing. I think umpires have to be tolerant to a degree, but it was a different time in baseball, no question.
And again, the 2-2 from Wilson. Just got a piece of it, and he stays alive.
He needs to make a pitch here, get his team back in the dugout, keep the game tied. Pitch count climbing already for Alex Wilson.
Wilson came on to strike out Trumbo with the man at second in the 3rd, and now he has 2 men on here with 2 outs in the 4th. The Avila home run tying the game at 5. Bouncing ball slowly toward 3rd. Castellanos. His throw is on the money, and the side retired. No runs, walk, a double, 2 men left. summary, well, Mark Krause in his first at bat as a Tiger, he goes deep into the seats in right. Austin Jackson has a grand slam home run in this game. The Tigers have hit 3 homers. Castellanos, Krause, and Avila. And so we amble to the 5th inning. And it'll be Jose Iglesias to start things off. And then Kinsler and then Yoenis Cespedes.
Young right-hander Taijuan Walker has been pitching brilliantly, but tonight it's going to be a little more of a challenge. He's going to have to grind his way through this one. And that's exactly what the Tigers hitters need to do. Keep grinding out at bats, get base runners, and then get big hits with runners in scoring position.
Iglesias 0 for 1 with a ground out. A little bit off the plate, and the count goes 2-1. Walker spent the majority of the year in the minor leagues last season, AA, AAA. Had some success when he got to the big leagues. He is coming into this game here with a 5-game winning streak. He's won 5 straight starts, and there have only been 2 other pitchers in the American League to win 5 in a row.
And tremendous earned run average.
Rolled foul.
You can see his confidence. He throws strikes. He's coming at you.
Here are those splits for Taijuan Walker. Bumpy beginning to the season. Drilled him. Iglesias hit by the pitch. We'll put the leadoff man on for the 3rd time for the Tigers.
Back of the right elbow, he does have a pad on that spot, but it hits him a little higher, I think, in the bicep area. There's a wrist. And he's got a pad there too, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's all padded up. So we'll see if Iglesias can come around to score here. Leadoff man on for the top of the order, Ian Kinsler. Strike 1 to Kinsler. Single strikeout in this game for Ian. Five runs, 7 hits for the Mariners. 5 runs, 5 hits for the Tigers. 0-2 on Kinsler.
Well, you notice now that Walker's starting to mix in more of his breaking balls. Off-speed pitch, kind of a combination with the curveball of his right there.
One and two.
And that was a straight change there. He just kept it down.
Walker now is at 75 as we play here in the 5th. Ooh, they got it picked off. Iglesias is the 2nd Tiger picked in this game. Walker must have some kind of move here.
Well, you can see that Zunino did not give him a sign. He gave him the fist. And no way was Iglesias going to get back there. He kind of pulls a Miggy and slaps the glove around, has a little fun. I'm not sure Walker really cared for it. Look at the quick feet of Taijuan Walker.
So they're empty now, 1-2 on Kinsler. Ian was the other Tiger that was picked off. It won as a caught stealing officially in the 1st inning. Even the count now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Checked it low. 3-2. Neither one of the pickoffs were particularly close either. I mean, they were both out by a wide margin. In fact, Kinsler tried to get himself in a rundown.
Well, I'm not sure about Kinsler, but it almost looked like Iglesias might have been going with the pitch. And he was dead meat over there.
Ground ball to third, right at the Gold Glover. Seager handcuffed a little bit, but he is out. 2 gone. That'll bring up Yoenis Cespedes. The Tigers hopefully hope that he will get to the All-Star game, and his teammate David Price talks about why Yo should be in the All-Star game.
He's been huge for us this year. I mean, he's a much better hitter now than he ever has been in his entire career, and I honestly don't think it's because he's in our lineup where he's getting more pitches to hit because the lineups that he was in before this. I don't think that's the case. Wally Joyner has really made Cespedes have a solid approach to plate.
Well, should Cespedes make it as the winner for the final vote, he would join Price, Miggy, Jose Iglesias, and J.D. Martinez as All-Stars. Obviously, Cabrera will not go with the injury. Price will be there, so will Iglesias and Martinez. 1-1 on Cespedes. Drill to center field, right at Jackson. And that will end the inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Coach here in Seattle, and boy, he had himself a career here in Seattle.
Arguably a Hall of Fame career. Maybe someday that will happen. Edgar was certainly one of the game's better hitters. Started off his career as predominantly a third baseman, but then he transitioned to become a full-time designated hitter, and now the hitting coach for the Seattle Mariners.
Well, the Tigers will send Wilson back out there as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Cano, Cruz, and Seager. These are the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the Seattle lineup. Some of those highlights there in the old Kingdome here in Seattle, which no longer exists. Boy, that was
what a beautiful ballpark.
Well, for you, because you probably pitched well there, right?
No, it was terrible. The worst turf in the game. It had more zippers than actual grass.
Wow.
It was bad.
It was very colorful inside, too. Nice and bright. And
if you like the color of concrete block.
Safeco Field here in Seattle, though,
a little bit nicer.
Yeah, it is one of the premier stadiums in all of baseball.
Same general neighborhood, and boy, has it changed. New football stadium across the street.
Yeah, and that's where the old Kingdome was.
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike. Foul down the left field line, 1-2. It's Seattle, where the Tigers got off to the 35-5 start. They came out to Seattle and then boom.
Yep, got swept.
Yeah,
it was a wake-up call for the '84 Tigers. But you look back at some of the players the Mariners had in those years, and there were some bona fide players on their teams.
1-2 on Cano. He is 0 for 2 in tonight's game. To center field. Ghost going back. Is Cano going to join the party? He will. Robinson Cano goes deep to center, just his 6th of the year, and Seattle has regained the lead. Cano hits the 3rd home run of the night for the M's.
Fastball right there, chest high, middle of the plate.
Just enough to clear the wall in center. 6-5 Seattle. Here's Cruz. Double strikeout in this game for Cruz, 1 for 2. Three home runs for Detroit, 3 home runs for Seattle. One of them, though, for the Mariners was a grand slam.
Well, the Mariners need that guy to heat up. He is a big part of what they're trying to do here in Seattle.
Bouncing ball, that'll get through. Base hit. His 2nd hit of the night. Well, it's a Fox Sports Detroit Prize Pack Tuesday brought to you by Meijer. Enter at www.foxsportsdetroit.com to be eligible to win a fantastic prize pack any baseball fan would love. Another hit on the board now for Seattle. That'll bring up Kyle Seager. And the Mariners now have 9 hits. Seager has one of them a single.
No activity, so Brad is sticking with his right-hander, Alex Wilson. We talked about how he stretches him out. He likes to bridge the gap between his early calls in some of these games and get deeper into the 6th, 7th inning.
Wilson with the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Wilson back on the 30th in that game against the Pirates went 3 1/3. That was in relief for the Tigers out of the bullpen, and they had to rest him for a couple of days after that. As a matter of fact, he threw 56 pitches in that game.
Yeah, that's a half a game for a starter.
Swing and a miss. 2-2 on Seager. Seager sends a ground ball to second. Kinsler, Iglesias on to first, a double play.
What a great double play combo that was. Kinsler gets rid of the ball as quickly as possible and throws a perfect strike, backhanded it over to Iglesias. Watch this transfer right here. Iglesias, plenty of time to get out Kyle Seager, and that's something that Alex Wilson needed right there. It gets the double play ball.
I think because Iglesias is so good, flashy, obviously, at his position, Kinsler is sometimes overlooked at what he brings to that combination right there.
You know, it all started with Ian.
Trumbo looks at a ball low. Double play ball and a strikeout for Mark Trumbo. Seattle has taken the lead on the home run by Cano here in the 5th. the end of the bat foul.
And now Albuquerque's up and throwing in the Tiger bullpen.
Well, the Tigers going to have to piece it together.
Yeah, and Albuquerque for the most part has been a 1-inning guy, and he might just be getting ready to pitch the bottom of the 6th inning.
Swing and a miss. Trumbo behind the count. Missed much of last year, 3 months as a matter of fact, with a stress fracture in his foot.
So I think it's right-hander Mark Lowe throwing now in Seattle's bullpen.
Two and two. Wilson staying away from Trumbo. There's Lowe. Nothing but home run balls again here tonight. 3 for each team. That'll get fouled.
Got in his kitchen there. Fastball in. Trumbo, one of those guys that's always like to extend his arm, so he's vulnerable inside. But you got to get in there. You don't want to miss over the middle of the plate.
Yeah, that has a tendency to go a long way, especially with Trumbo swinging.
Going with the breaking ball here now.
And he fought it off. Waiting on deck, Logan Morrison. One more between these two teams. They'll play a day game here tomorrow, and then it's on in Minnesota. 4-game set to wrap up the first half of the season. All-Star break next week. Well, Trumbo battling. Pitch count up to 41 now for Wilson. Every Seattle batter has been on base at least once, with the exception of Trumbo. And so much for that. Single to right field.
Yeah, that one just spun, stayed up in the zone. That's the old hanging breaking ball. And like last night, Trumbo shoots the ball the other way. See this ball just spin. Right, dead center. Hitters have to hit that pitch. Those are the mistakes that they need to make their living on.
So here is Morrison. He's the only Seattle hitter without a base hit. He has a walk, though. Base on balls and scored a run in the 3rd.
Well, Brad Ausmus and Jeff Jones are just trying to get Alex Wilson through this half inning. Looks like Albuquerque's ready to go, but they want him to finish this half and let Al start fresh in the bottom of the 6th.
Morrison skies into the air toward left. Cespedes has room for this one. Edge of the warning track. That'll end the inning. Not before Cano homers to give Seattle the lead. We're headed to the top of the 6th inning. Here are some news and notes from around the major leagues. Paulo Orlando hit a walk-off grand slam today for the Royals, who, by the way, ended up sweeping the Tampa Bay Rays. Tulowitzki holds the Major League Baseball's longest active streak now at 18 in a row. How about that game last night in Chicago, Jack?
Oh, man. That's what every announcer prays for right there.
An hour and 54-minute time of the game.
I've seen Mark Burley, and he toes the rubber and gets rid of the ball quicker than anybody other than his teammates. But yeah, that was a pitcher's team right there.
There's a base hit to left field the other way for Victor Martinez, and the Tigers get the leadoff man on.
Dickey actually had a quicker time between pitches than Mark Burley. Burley was 2, and this was the year that I worked in Toronto. I'm sure they're still right up there among the league leaders.
Well, Dickey had an early exit against the Tigers on the last homestand. They got him pretty good. Here's J.D. Martinez.
Well, J.D. just keep the big wheel rolling right here. Base hit for Victor. It hasn't been easy for Taijuan Walker tonight either. He has had to grind one out here.
Yeah, he really has had to kind of work his way through this one. He has allowed a total of 6 hits now, but 5 runs. Drilled to center field. Jackson going back to the track in front of the wall right at 401. Even J.D. Martinez's outs go a long way. He nearly got another one. 1 out.
Well, he's able to repeat that swing so well. You can see his head still. Gets those hands down to the ball. Great extension. But not quite enough. He hit it to the furthest part of the ballpark.
Here's Avila, who went the other way for a 2-run shot in his last at bat. And he pulls this one right to first. They're going to get a double play. Happy birthday, Logan Morrison. Made a nice play, and the line shot double play ends the inning. A country night at Comerica Park is Friday, July 17th. Tigers hosting the Orioles at 7:08. Prior to the game, enjoy live country music, line dancing, and more.
See those 2 cowboys?
Yes. How about that cowboy right there, Pause. 866-66-Tiger. If you'd like more information, or tigers.com. Are you fired up for country night?
Yeah, I like country music.
Well, Albuquerque will come on now in a wall side windows pitching change. Al will face Zunino, Chris Taylor, and then Austin Jackson.
And Al Albuquerque is good. He's got one of the better sliders in the game. His velocity was down a little bit earlier in this year. I'm sure there's some concern about that, but his go-to pitch has always been his slider.
Swing and a miss. Albuquerque has allowed just 4 runs in his last 26 outings. Zunino is single and a ground out in this game. 6-5 Seattle. A little bit outside, and the count now is 2-1. Bouncing ball left side, scooped up there by Castellanos. Zunino is out, 1 away. Time for a game break now. Here's Johnny Kane. All right, Johnny. Well, Miguel Sano, man, this guy is, I guess, the real deal.
From what I've seen, there's a lot of encouragement for Twins fans watching that young man. 22-year-old, big, strong. Something the Twins have needed, a power hitter.
Yeah.
Who doesn't need that, right?
No, everybody. I know they're different players, but in your mind, bigger upside, Buxton or Sano?
That's a heck of a tough question, because Buxton's got that explosive speed. He's as fast as Billy Hamilton. We've seen him this year. Yeah, that's the kind of speed that Buxton has. Snow not even close, but for a big man, he runs pretty good too.
Taylor the batter here, 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, the Tigers will see Mr. Sano this weekend. They'll be playing in Minnesota, 4-game series. That's up and in. And the hope is they have good crowds there. I mean, it should be a great series. 2 teams that are battling now in the standings.
I'm sure it will be a great crowd. Weekend series.
Taylor waits on a 2-1. Showing bunt. 3-1. Chris Taylor single double despite coming in batting 154 in this game.
Yeah, he's having a big night.
Jackson waiting on deck. Strike called. He was on his way to first. But Kerwin Danley said nope. 3-2.
Well, I'm not sure Mr. Foxtrax agreed with Mr. Danley, but you know, a veteran umpire sees a young kid deciding whether the ball was a strike or not. A little too early for his liking, and he calls it a strike, and Albuquerque comes back and strikes him out.
First of the game for Al, 2 gone. And they'll bring up Jackson now. Jackson a grand slam in the 3rd inning. Strike 1.
Yeah, I guess you could call that the big blow of the game. 3 home runs on both sides in tonight's game.
The first 5 reached in the 3rd for Seattle. The home runs by Jackson and Gutierrez highlighted that frame. Mark Lowe still warming in the bullpen for Seattle.
Yeah, he might be coming in to pitch the 7th.
One ball, 2 strikes. A little bit outside, 2-2 the count. Fernando Rodney is the closer here in Seattle. And we'll We'll see if he ends up getting into this ball game.
Tiger fans very familiar with Fernando. It's always an experience.
It is
that. Throws the rubber.
Swing and a miss. Jackson out on strikes. Albuquerque a nice 1-2-3-6. Seventh inning. There is Mark Krause. And Krause, of course, had a home run in his first at bat for the Tigers. He grew up in Ohio, so he's kind of familiar with the Old English D.
A lot of people I know are big Tigers fans. Very, very good fan base I know from playing against them and growing up, and especially in Northwest Ohio. There's many of them.
Well, he wasted little time in joining the family. Krause was claimed off waivers yesterday from the Rays, originally a second-round pick of the Diamondbacks in '09. And was a pretty good football player in high school as well. There was some thought he might play some high school football, had some scholarship offers. But it's gone the baseball route. Castellanos leads it off here in the seventh inning, and he looks at a strike.
New Mariner pitcher, Mark Lowe. That'll close the book on Taijuan Walker, who goes 6 innings, gives up 6 hits on 5 runs.
Here's the 0-1. Bouncing ball foul, third base side. Castellanos keeps swinging a hot bat, a 2-run shot in the second. It was his 6th of the year, extending his hitting streak to 8 straight.
Yeah, he had a career night, 4 hits. First 4-hit night of his career with a home run, and then comes back in his first at bat tonight, another home run.
Checked it. Did he go? Yes, he went around. Castellanos tried to buy it, or sell it at least, but they weren't buying.
Let's take a look at Big Boy's big play of the game. In his first at bat as a member of the Detroit Tigers, Mark Krause knows how to gain a lot of friends in a hurry. Sends one into the right field seats, and all smiles in the Tiger dugout for his first at bat as a Tiger.
He certainly made a grand entrance. So Krause now with 1 out and nobody on. Fouled away 0-1. Krause was an All-American at Ohio U, a Bobcat in his college days.
I just want to know if you saw the similarity that I saw when Mickey was interviewing him. It looked like his little brother.
Oh, Mickey York and Krause?
Yeah.
No, I didn't look at it. 1 ball, 1 strike. I don't know if you can call Krause anybody's little brother. He's a big guy.
So is Mick.
Well, that's true. It's a fair point. The 1-1. Outside 2-1. 96 there from Lowe. Krause in his high school days was offered some scholarships to play football at some MAC schools. Toledo, Bowling Green. Grounded foul. Lowe's career began here in Seattle back in 2006. He then went to Texas for a spell, to the Angels, to Cleveland. Now he's back here in Seattle where it all started for him. Signed as a minor league free agent in December. Swing and a miss. Down goes Krause. A couple of strikeouts for Lowe.
I don't know if I mentioned to you that I met Mark Lowe's uncle. He is a Minnesota native now, a transplant from, from Missouri, a big Cardinal fan. And he was telling me all about his nephew and how happy they were to see him get called up to the big leagues.
Mark's had he's had some pretty good amount of time here in the major leagues. This goes cuts and misses. In fact, he was used one year, 75 games for Seattle out of the bullpen in 2009. He has struck out a pair of batters here in the 7th. Goes 0 for 2, ground out, fly out. Way outside, 1-1. A little high. 2-1 on Ghost.
Again, Mike Zunino trying to frame that ball. With the fastball in, nope, fastball away, and sit outside, getting that good target down. And he missed over the plate.
Ghost just fouled it straight back.
Pretty impressive ERA this season for Mark Lowe. The lowest in Mariner history prior to the All-Star break.
Pretty good. Ghost trying to put a dent into that, though. And the 2-2. Ooh, he held it there.
Those catchers.
He was trying.
He was doing his part, wasn't he? See him catch that ball, extended arm out in front, and then he just lifts his glove slightly like he's catching it in the web, but he lifted it a little too high.
Swing and a miss, didn't matter. He came back at 96 at the letters. Had struck him out. Lowe fans the side in the 7th. Here is the upcoming matchup presented by the Michigan Office of Highway Safety. Tomorrow it's Anibal Sanchez for the Tigers. Jay Happ will go for Seattle.
Jay Happ coming over from the Toronto Blue Jays. He was one of the guys in the rotation a couple years ago when I was up in Toronto. And took a ball off the head. It was a terrible, terrible sight to witness. And he was on the DL for quite some time, 60 days with a concussion because of that.
He was able to rebound back in the big leagues now, which is well, it's great to see. I mean, those are always scary situations.
Sanchez has been pitching well, though, and the Tigers are going to need him to continue on that same course.
Franklin Gutierrez is leading it off here in the 7th. There's action in the Detroit bullpen. Ian Kroll warming up. So the Tigers will send Albuquerque out there for his 2nd inning of work. He struck out 2 in the 6th. Little chopper slowly toward the shortstop. Here comes Iggy. And he got him by a wide margin.
Did a great job at charging that ball. He kind of knows that Gutierrez doesn't have the same speed he once had. But look at his hands and perfect throw on the run. He's flashy. He's got a little bit of that bling in him, but you know what? You get the plays done, I guess you're allowed to do that.
And he's going to the All-Star game. He's been recognized for having one of the best starts to this major league season as a shortstop.
He's got a couple guys that work with him here in Detroit that could flash the leather themselves. Infield coach, of course, is Omar Vizquel, my former teammate in Cleveland. He could flat out pick it. Great hands himself. And my favorite shortstop of all time, Alan Trammell, of course, right, working with the Tigers.
But Tram made a few plays behind you in his day.
If I was any good at all, it's because of Lou and Tram.
Well,
you know, I depended on those guys, and they came through day in and day out.
Of course, Vizquel started his career here in Seattle. 1989 was his first year in the major leagues, and was here in Seattle. Many remember his days with the Indians. He had some great seasons with Cleveland. But it all began here, and Omar still lives here. Here's the 2-0. That'll bounce in. 3-0 on Robinson Cano. Cano 1 for 3 with the home run in the 3rd, or make it the 5th. It was his 6th of the year. So Cano continues to swing a much hotter bat here in the month of July. He was really struggling coming into this month. And he'll take a strike. He took one step and posed as he went to first base, and Kerwin called him back. Here's that terrible month of June, 212, but this month much different.
Yeah, May was right up a little short of what Cano. He's been a 300+ hitter his career.
Pulled on the ground, diving stop at first by Krause. Albuquerque comes over to make the play and covers for the out. Nicely done by Krause.
Throwing the leveler over there. You see him reacting to his right, stretches out, and then he makes an accurate throw to Albuquerque, who's doing his job covering first base.
So Krause perhaps takes away a double there. Here is Nelson Cruz. Strike one on Cruz, a single and a double in this game, 2 out of 3. Swing and a miss.
Now here's our high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity for Albuquerque. You can see he's touched 96 on his fastball, and as low as a breaking ball, I'm sure. That was 85. Al's got a very good slider. That's his go-to pitch. And ahead in the count. It's a good thing. You'll see probably another slider right here, down in the zone, away from Nelson Cruz. There's the shift.
Swing and a miss. And he got it done. Well, tip your cap to Albuquerque tonight. Retires all 6 that he faces. 3 of them via the strikeout.
You see all these home runs. Austin Jackson with the salami. Gutierrez going opposite way. Alex Avila, the same thing, opposite field. And then Robinson Cano, straightaway center field. So home runs a big part of the scoring in tonight's ballgame.
Well, it's our good friend Fernando Rodney. He's going to check in here in the 8th inning.
We should have nicknamed him Sneaky because he's always peeking out of the corner of his eyes. And that's why he wears the hat off to the side.
Sneaky.
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
Sneaky.
That's what we used to call Santiago because he had sneaky power. Every now and then he'd hit one out. Hey, by the way, this July, baseball's best players gather in Cincinnati for the Midsummer Classic. Home field advantage for the World Series is on the line. Our coverage of the 2015 Major League Baseball All-Star Game begins July 14th at 7 Eastern on Fox, streaming live as well on Fox Sports Go. Iglesias will lead things off for Detroit.
My favorite moments in baseball, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, guys react. You know that Fernando Rodney loves to shoot the arrow into the air after saves, and I remember Mike Trout hitting a home run late in the game, coming around home plate and just shooting the arrow up in the air, right in front of Rodney.
Rodney works at home, and it's a strike called on Iglesias. Now, would the arrow shooting bit work in the 60s and 70s?
Different time.
Yeah.
No, and that's my point. You know, I was obviously raised old school, but, you know, if you're going to do those kind of things, don't get mad when guys do it back to you.
Rodney will handle this one, and Iglesias is out. One away.
Check swing there, easy out.
Here's Ian Kinsler. Tigers down 6-5. We're in the 8th. And they've been out hit in this game 10-6. Kinsler has a single in 3 at bats. Ball 1 bouncing in. Mid-90s heater there from Fernando Rodney.
I think it's safe to say that what has made Fernando Rodney effective as a relief pitcher and closer is he's been effectively wild. You just never really know where he's going to throw the ball.
So in other words, it's not a real comfortable at bat.
That's my point exactly. Hitters, when they have guys like that on the mound, just never feel very comfortable. You know, you might get it over the heart of the plate. You might get it on your kneecap. It might buzz your shoulder. and then he can paint on the outside corner. So all those things are a plus sometimes for a pitcher.
Rodney broke the Mariners' single-season saves record last year. He had passed the old record of 45 established by Sasaki. There's a swing and a miss.
And that's his split finger. He learned that pitch as a member of the Tigers. And it's been a swing and miss pitch for him for his whole career, really.
Fernando now is 37 years of age. High pop up, right side of the infield. To the grass it goes for Cano. And there are 2 gone. Cruz didn't have any idea where that ball was.
He didn't need to.
Somebody help me. Cano doesn't do anything conventionally, does he?
No, it's cool breeze.
You know, and one of these times when a ball glances off the glove, you just wonder what the reaction will be. Cool breeze, I like it.
He does things so natural. I mean, he really is a guy that looks nonchalant to a lot of fans, but he's pretty darn good at what he does.
So here is Cespedes with 2 outs. Yoenis is 0 for 3. 6-5 Seattle in the 8th inning. Lifted toward right, but slicing. And foul. Oh, 2 on Cespedes. Rodney had 48 saves last year.
Yeah, he's doing a great job of getting ahead in counts, throwing strikes. He can be tough. Tiger's going to have to hope for a mistake and then not miss it.
Fly ball, center field. Ball hit well. Jackson going back. Track wall, leaps, it's gone! Just over the wall in center field, and we are tied at 6.
Vote yo.
Cespedes making a bid for the final vote, and he homers to tie it up.
Just no more than said he's going to have to hit a mistake. I'm not sure that was really a mistake. It's kind of where Rodney wanted the ball, but Yoenis Cespedes went out and got it, and he is some kind of strong. Great bat speed. Tie ball game.
The 4th home run of the night for the Tigers, out of the reach of a leaping Austin Jackson in center. 6-6 game.
We talked about it earlier. All the runs coming via the home run. And is it going to stop?
It doesn't appear it's going to. All 12 runs scored in tonight's game have come via the home run. We've got a day game here tomorrow, so it's going to be even warmer. What a clutch home run for Cespedes. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
Let's look at his swing again. Man, the sound of that's just a terrible sound if you're on the mound. If you're in the dugout, it's a great sound.
Well, the Mariners bullpen had retired 7 straight before that big thundering sound. Meanwhile, Martinez just gets a piece to spoil one.
Yeah, you kind of wonder what's going to happen tomorrow. The way the ball carries here at night, it's going to be a little warmer. Kind of reminds me of one of my old teammates, Richie Hebner, used to tease me. Boston used to have a pitcher named Oil Can Boyd.
Got him, strike 3.
We'll tell that story next inning.
So Martinez caught looking. That'll end the inning. However, the Tigers able to tie it up. Boom, off the bat of Yoenis Cespedes. 6-6 game. Yoenis Cespedes has tied this game. It is 6-6 as we go to the bottom of the 8th here in Seattle. Home run balls just flying out of this ballpark in this series. Now Blaine Hardy will take over for Detroit.
He's coming in for this 37th time, and they have kind of depended on him lately too. Pitched an inning and a third in last night's game, helped the Tigers get the win.
Here's Kyle Seager to lead things off, and he looks at a strike. 0-1. Good job by Albuquerque tonight. He faced 6, retired all 6 of them.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts, no walks, so Al was throwing strikes.
And even Wilson, who had to come on in the 3rd tonight, gave up just the 1 run and the homer by Cano. Just lifted back out of play. 0-2. Seager a single in 3 at-bats. Blaine Hardy. What a positive influence he has been in the Tigers bullpen this year. Another foul back. Lefties batting just 164 against Blaine this year.
See Avila setting up outside. Ball kind of handcuffed him, came back inside, not anywhere close to where he wanted that ball to be thrown. But if you miss, don't miss over the heart. And that one missed down and in.
Seager fouled it away.
You can see Avila giving him the come on, get it out there. That ball again, too much of the plate. And those are the subtle little things that catchers can do to kind of pump you up on the mound.
Alex catching back-to-back games.
Curveball.
Bouncing ball foul.
Again, you saw Alex Avila just open his glove, kind of throwing it on the dirt. That's an indication. Keep it down. Hit the ball down. He threw it for a strike, but had he got it down where Avila wanted it, he might have swung out of the zone. And right back with the same pitch.
Ground ball right to Krause at first base, who is hugging the line. 1 away. Time now for the 1-800-CALL-SAM call of the game.
So what, right? Base hit. Now just get a ground ball up the middle. You got some great defenders there.
And a bouncing ball short. Iglesias flips to second one, and there's your 6-4-3. Nice call there, Jack. Inning over. How about you get the call-Sam call of the game tonight?
You know, even a blind squirrel finds an acorn now and then.
Swing and a miss by Trumbo.
It's one of those deals, I guess I've done it enough and know what I need to do that I'm willing it
right
to happen.
And
once in a while it happens.
Comes to fruition. Trumbo waits on the 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Got to keep this guy in the ballpark. Only 1 home run this year for Trumbo. He was acquired in June from Arizona. He'll get back out of play, and it's 1-2 on Trumbo.
More importantly, he's got to get his team back on the dugout. My old-fashioned baseball 101 says that the other team can't score when you're hitting.
So, I find that to be true.
Yeah, generally that.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It's 8 in a row retired by Tigers relievers in this game. Change
up.
To That's a base hit.
He was able to keep his hands back just long enough, kind of hit it off the end of the bat, but Mark Trumbo, pretty strong guy, got enough of the ball off the end of his bat. Now they're going to have a pinch runner come in. That'll be Dustin Ackley, going to run and probably go to left field.
We're at Safeco Field tonight in Seattle. Mario and Pemba with Jack Morris. Glad you are with us here in a very entertaining ball game tonight. Joe Nicola is our producer. Brian Moss, our director. Dustin Ackley, our pinch runner. He's not part of the crew, though.
Not our crew, anyway.
Nope. Here's Logan Morrison. Walk and a run scored tonight for Morrison. Hit a 3-run homer in the ball game last night. The former Marlin. 3 years with the Marlins. Ackley, go ahead run, draws the throw.
Well, I called it for Kyle Ryan early in the game. Wayne Hardy needs to roll a little double play ball right here. You don't have the fastest guy at home.
Fly ball in the air towards shallow right center. Ghost will come in to make the play. Ackley retreats. Yeah, we'll take it.
That'll work. Got in on his hands a little bit.
There's Zunino now with 2 outs.
Hardy's got the 2 left-handers out, Seager and Morrison. Needs to get one of these right-handers out. Zunino got a hit, scored a run back in the 3rd inning.
One for 3 tonight for Zunino. Ackley draws yet another throw. If you're wondering, Ackley has only 1 stolen base this year. He's been caught twice. Smith warming up in the bullpen for the Mariners.
Right-hander.
One 1-0 on Zunino. Tigers had to go into the bullpen early tonight. Kyle Ryan knocked out of the game in the 3rd. Wilson came on, got the final out of the 3rd, and got the Tigers into the 6th. Way outside, 2-0. Lane did not start the season with the Tigers. Was called up early, though, back in early April. And there's his strike call. 2-1.
Blaine doing a good job of changing speeds with his fastball tonight. He hasn't thrown back-to-back fastballs with the same velocity, so he's adding and subtracting. See Bruce Rondon getting ready out there in the Tiger bullpen. Needs to make a pitch right here.
2-2 on Zunino. Chris Taylor waiting on deck, the number 9 hitter. Ackley back again.
Go with the breaking ball.
He went around. Strike 3 call to end the inning. No runs, a hit, 1 man left. We'll go to the 9th, and J.D. Martinez will get it started for the Tigers. We go to the 9th inning. 6 runs, 11 hits. Seattle, 6 runs, 7 hits for Detroit. And the Mariners have gone back to the bullpen. They'll bring in the right-hander now.
Yeah, Carson Smith pitched in last night's game, did a very good job pitching in the 9th inning. Struck out 2 of the 3 hitters he faced. He's done a great job for the Mariners. See that ERA under 2. And a lot of strikeouts and very few walks.
Smith will face Martinez, Avila, Castellanos. JD had a double, scored a run in the 4th inning. In his last at bat, he nearly hit one out to the wall in center field. Now Smith with the 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Smith, a big tall guy. He's 6'6". Born in Dallas, Texas. And he's got a pretty crisp breaking ball, as you can see by that last pitch.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. JD goes down on 3. Pitch. 1 out. Time for a preview of what's coming up on Tigers Live. We check in with Mickey York.
All right, Mario, thank you very much. What a crazy couple of games in Seattle here so far. We'll talk to the guys about the way the ball's been jumping out of the park here in the first 2 games of this series. We'll catch up with the new guy, Mark Krause, who wasted no time making his introduction to Tiger fans. We'll show you all the highlights here from Brad Ausmus as well, with Johnny Kane, Craig Monroe, and Rod Allen in the Coliseum studio after the game for Tigers Live. Fellas?
All right, Mick, thanks. Hopefully you'll be talking about a Tigers win. As Avila stands in now with 1 out. And he looks at a strike, 0-1. Tigers able to tie it up on the 2-out solo shot by Yoenis Cespedes in the 8th. Here's the 0-1. Swing and miss, 0-2. Aside for the home run by Cespedes, the Tigers have not been able to do anything against the Mariners' pen. Smith came on in the 9th inning last night, got him 1-2-3 with 2 strikeouts. Just off the plate. 1-2.
You see that Smith opens up a little too early there, and that's what we used to call the backup slider. It just never really breaks out because your hand and your release point is not out in front. You're dragging a little bit because your front shoulder opens up. They're going to go back with it. They're going to try to paint the outside corner, backdoor him.
Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts for Smith. How about that last one?
A good downward break. See Smith, he's 6'6", but he throws the ball almost sidearm the way he releases it. So he's not really the over top guy. He doesn't use that full frame of his in the downward plane that a lot of coaches like.
Soria Rondon warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Castellanos, strike 1. Smith made his major league debut last year, pitched 8 1/3 in the big leagues, and he didn't give up a run. And he's doing good work here this year for Seattle. Castellanos sends a ground ball foul. So now it's 0-2. Crowd of a little under 22,000 in attendance here tonight. Looking to get this thing to the bottom of the 9th.
Well, he's probably going to go back to his go-to pitch, and that's a slider.
And he laid off.
Tough pitch to lay off, but Castellanos does a nice job there. That's where you want to throw it. You're ahead in the count. See if he'll go fishing.
That one was inside.
Again, that's the backup slider. He just rushed it, and his arm's dragging. That pitch has got to be released out in front of your body in order for it to come out of your hand properly and get the spin necessary to command it. And he likes it. He's going back to it again.
Got him. Strike 3. Castellanos thought it might have been a touch high. He strikes out the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Tigers. Here come the M's in the bottom of the 9th. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. By your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Visit ChevyDetroit.com. See why Chevy drives the Motor City. And by Wallside Windows. We can do that. We are the factory. It is a 6-6 game as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Bruce Rondon will check in now for the Tigers out of the bullpen. This will be his 7th appearance at the major league level. And we'll get a pinch hitter to face him here. Seth Smith will bat for Chris Taylor.
Now they're trying to get the matchups. Left-handed hitter coming in to face the right-hander.
6 runs, 11 hits for Seattle. 6 runs, 7 hits for the Tigers. They play Smith to pull. And he looks at ball 1 from Rondon, a fastball. Smith has power, 7 homers this year. There's the shift that they play against him. It's Castellanos moving over to the right side. That's in there for a strike. 1-1 on Seth Smith. Smith started last night's ball game. Was on base a couple of times. Walked, single, 2-run score. And the 1-1. Good pitch, but it missed. Joey Rondon kind of shook his head there and said, that looked pretty good. Oh! He was well inside the strike zone.
Maybe it's best that he didn't swing.
Yeah, good point. That is in there. 2-2 on Smith, who is beefing now, but he got away with one the last time.
Well, that ball might have been even higher. It's definitely on the outer quadrant at the corner there. And that's what confuses hitters and sometimes pitchers is you throw 2 balls in the general same area and one's a strike and one's a ball.
Here's the 2-2. Pulled right into the shift. Castellanos can't get it. He made a diving attempt, but Seth Smith has a pinch hit single to get things started here in the 9th.
Well, the shift way over to the right, but he finds the hole there. Castellanos doing everything he can to get to that ball. Had he been able to put a glove on it, I think Smith would have legged it out anyway. So Mariners get their leadoff man on. Now Brad Miller's going to come in and play shortstop, replacing Seth Smith on the base paths, who replaced Chris Taylor at shortstop.
So Smith does his job.
Tigers hoping that Rondon can extend the inning, get them back into the dugout, give them another chance to put a run on the board.
Austin Jackson, a grand slam and a walk in this game. Jackson's bunting here.
Well, I don't think it's a bad idea. You know, if you can get the ball down, you put your runner in scoring position. You got 2 pops at trying to get him in from second base.
He is showing bunt, and he lay it down. And Bruce will fire it to first. That'll put the winning run into scoring position. Sacrificed by Jackson, and now you've got your 2 and 3 hitters, 2 shots to try and get this run in.
And there's an argument in baseball about the bunt in that situation. Some managers want the guy to swing and drive him in. Doesn't want him to, you know, the old style baseball is called small ball, and you move the runner, and now you got 2 shots. You give up an out to put a guy in scoring position.
Here is Gutierrez to try and drive home Miller, the pitch runner. Bender that misses inside, 1-0.
Rondon has kind of dragged his arm a little bit with his breaking ball. 3 of his sliders been up in the zone. That's usually an indication that he's just rushing his lower body and his upper body doesn't catch up.
Swing and a miss.
A lot better result there. Making the adjustment. That's what this game's all about. Whether you're a hitter or a pitcher, you've got to make those little adjustments while usually from pitch to pitch. Rondon got that one out in front, kept it down, got Gutierrez to chase it.
Franklin is homered in this game. Let's hit it. 2-1.
Overthrew that one again. Same pitch.
Albuquerque is scoreless 6th and 7th. Hardy is scoreless 8th. Rondon here in the 9th. Low, and now it's 3-1. You've got Robinson, Cano waiting on deck. The Mariners have their heavy artillery lurking. Cano is waiting in the circle, and then it would be Cruz. That one didn't miss by much. Just off the plate.
Well, there's an old baseball theory, and I buy into it. When you're kind of scattergun, you're all over the place. It's hard for the umpire to give you that borderline pitch.
Swing and a miss. A good one there. 3-2.
Gutsy pitch right there. Comes back with the breaking ball. It's a fastball situation, so it's the right pitch, but the way he's been commanding it, you kind of wonder if he has confidence in it. Alex throws down the breaking ball, and he comes right back. And if you're going to throw it 3-1, you might as well throw it 3-2.
Tip, and he just got it out of the glove of Avila. Fouled it off to stay alive.
Well, he came back with it, and the problem is when they foul it off is how many times can you go to it? You come back and hope for the best here, keep it down, make them chase. You have to throw it in the strike zone. You try to pound a fastball and maybe get in on him a little bit, keep it off the head of the bat. The chess game.
Another foul at home plate.
Gutierrez battling, and a good at bat.
He is barely alive. The last two he's just gotten a piece of.
And this is where I would consider this a high stress at bat. You know, Rondon's in a tough situation. Leadoff man gets on with a hit. They sacrifice him over to second. And then you have a long at bat with a guy that's fallen off nasty pitches. He's got to throw another one.
Swing and a miss, and he struck him out with it. Rondon gets a big strikeout, 2 away.
He didn't give in. He stayed with the breaking ball, and he finally got Gutierrez, who's trying to drive in that run to swing out of the zone. Big out right there.
Yeah, big out, but a big hitter coming up, and Jeff Jones coming out of the dugout. They want to chat to see how they will attack Cano.
They want everybody in the infield to understand what they're going to try to do against Robinson Cano. Only with one hit in the game so far, but that was a big hit. Leadoff home run in the 5th inning. Straightaway center field. But you pick your poison. You have 2 outs, a runner at second. You pitch Cano or you kind of pitch around him. Then you have Cruz next, Seager to follow Cruz. You need 1 out. And you don't want anybody to score. So there we go. Simple game.
Pretty much sets it up right there. We'll see what they do here with Cano. Fouled it away on 1. 101. Bruce dialed back for that.
Cano, you know, you don't sneak too many fastballs by him, but he was a little tardy on that. So I don't know how accurate the gun is. Some cities have it cranked up a little bit, but it certainly was a healthy fastball. And more importantly, strike 1.
Another foul down the third base line. 100 miles an hour from Rondon.
Yeah, that one up and in. Good location. There's not a whole lot hitters can do with that. Your classic Derek Jeter inside-out swing is the best you can hope for, and maybe shoot it the opposite way. Cano tried to do that, but at 100 miles an hour, pretty hard to catch up to it.
So they decided to go against or go after Cano here. And he's ahead 0-2. Little pop up, shallow left field. Cespedes coming on, makes the catch. And that will end it in the 9th inning for Seattle. Rondon pitching around the leadoff single. They strand a man in scoring position. We go to the 10th in Seattle. Jerky all season long. Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side. Brad Miller stays in the game. He will play shortstop after pinch running. And here come the Tigers now in the top of the 10th. It'll be Mark Krause to lead things off for Detroit. And he looks at strike 1. Smith came on in the 9th inning, struck out the side. He's back out there for the 10th. Krause swings and misses.
Well, you got to almost sit on a slider with Carson Smith. He's thrown pretty much nothing but sliders, and that's easier said than done. It's a tough pitch to make contact with, but that's his go-to pitch.
1-2.
The problem is every once in a while he throws that backup one, and that just absolutely locks you up.
Oh, he got him, strike 3. Yeah, Krause didn't like that call. That look says it all right there. Ay.
Well, Kerwin Danley giving him a whole lot of love in there.
You're not kidding. Ball was clearly outside. 4 strikeouts now for the right-hander. Here's Anthony Gose. Swing and a miss.
4 for 4 in strikeouts.
Goes 0 for 3 in this game. Fouled it away. 0-2. Bit high and away. Danley wouldn't get in that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Ghost. Iglesias waiting on deck. 6-6 game. We're in the 10th. Outside again. Now he's gone 2-2. 4 home runs tonight for the Tigers, 3 for Seattle. Everything coming in via the home run tonight. Right back up the middle into center field. Base hit. Good job by Ghost. He's going to try for 2. And he's in there.
That's just heads up baseball right there. Anthony Ghost seeing that Austin Jackson going to take his time getting to the ball. And he just legs it out. He had no doubt in his mind he was going to round first base and try to find a different gear. And now the Tigers have the go-ahead run at second base.
It was hit softly enough to where Ghost could even think about it.
He also saw nobody really on second base. Cano was way off the bag there. Brad Miller was going out to be the cutoff man after he was trying to chase down that ball up the middle.
Now Iglesias, he looks at a strike. 0-1. That was the 8th hit of the game now for Detroit. The Mariners are 4-6 in extra innings. Tigers 3-5. So it's the Tigers now with 2 shots to get this run in from second. Thanks to the heads up play by Ghost. Thought about it, wouldn't go after it. 1-1, snapped it over to second, almost went into center field.
Well, the Mariners had their chance in the bottom of the 9th inning with 1 out. They had a runner at second base, failed to get the run in. And now the Tigers find themselves with the same scenario.
Missed the outside corner. The count goes 2-1. What did Mr. Foxtrax say about this?
These are some tough pitches for home plate umpire Cohen Danley. They're all right there off the corner, on the corner.
That's low, and now it's 3-1.
Good at bat by Iglesias here.
Kinsler waiting on deck.
No activity in the Mariner bullpen. There's a whole bunch of guys throwing baseballs around out there in the Tiger pen, but mostly just watching right here, hoping that Iglesias can deliver a base hit.
Ooh, he tried to bunt. 3-2.
Seager was playing well behind the bag at third base, and that's not a bad play right there. Ghost runs well. If he can get the ball down third base side, Ghost easily will get over to third. But you gotta drive a run in here. This is not a situation where you really want to move the guy to third. You need to drive him in.
Oh man. Smith with a huge strikeout there. His 5th of the game. He froze Iglesias.
Slider, and like you say, it just locked him up.
That is a big time pitch in a big time spot. So here is Kinsler with 2 outs. Ian had a single in his first at bat. He is 1 for 4. Strike one. And now Kinsler has a look back for Kerwin Danley.
That first pitch is such a difference maker for both the pitcher and the hitter. Strike one changes the dynamics of every at bat.
Another breaking ball. That one missed.
Like I said, these are just tough pitches for the home plate umpire to call.
Oh,
you know, part of the ball hits the corner. So Kinsler's look might have influenced Kerwin Dantley into that second pitch. All even up at 1 here.
This time he came inside and missed 2-1.
Kinsler's taking a good look at a couple breaking balls here, and that's going to be the go-to pitch here for Carson Smith. Let's see if he can make a mistake. Ian's seen enough now that he can put the ball in play.
Man. 2-2. He just keeps throwing them up there, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I see breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball. I got to go up there looking breaking ball, don't you?
Yeah, you would think. 2-2. Fouled back out of play. That time at 94, he tried to throw one by Kinsler. Ian got a piece of it. Anthony goes to 1-out double, standing there now with 2 outs. There's action in the Tigers' pen. Kroll and Soria. Ground ball left side. Miller boots it! And Ghost will hold at third.
Well, it's awful hard for Anthony Ghost to be able to look from the back of his head, but had he rounded third and never stopped, he would have scored on this ball. Dave Clark, third base coach, has to hold him up. That's just the little yips right there. Pressure situation. Brad Miller just taking his eyes off momentarily. So the Tigers get another chance. Yoenis Cespedes homered in his last at bat. Vote Yo. Come on, Yo.
Give us another reason to vote Yo. So they'll have a conversation on the mound as Cespedes stands in. This is why we're here in extra innings. The 8th inning homer by Yoenis came with 2 outs in the 8th. Runners at first and third now, 2 outs. Smith has thrown 33 pitches. A chance to go ahead for the Tigers. And he throws in another breaking ball, 1-0. Another one. 2-0 the count.
Well, you just feel like he's going to make a mistake over the plate. Cespedes is a very good breaking ball hitter. He sits on him occasionally. He's got to understand that that's what he's going to throw.
Popped him up. Robinson Cano to win the inning. No runs, a hit, an error, 2 men left. To the bottom of the 10th we go. All 12 runs in this game have come via the home run. First career grand slam in the third inning for Austin Jackson, and Yoenis Cespedes tied it up in the 8th with a 2-out solo shot. And Bruce Rondon getting set to go back to work here in the 10th inning. Rondon pitched the 9th, so he will try and give his manager 2 innings of work. Nelson Cruz will lead things off. Cruz, Seager, and Ackley do up. Each team with a chance to win it. The Mariners in the bottom of the 9th, and the Tigers had a chance to go ahead in the top of the 10th. Cruz looks at a ball inside. Stayed up and in. Rondon allowed a single, a sacrifice, but no damage in the 9th inning. Cruz takes high, and the count goes 2-0.
Well, he's got to be very careful here. Nelson Cruz has the ability to lead the yard, and he falls behind him.
High, 3-0. Cruz has 2 hits tonight, single and a double. He walked him on 4 straight. Cruz is aboard. He's going to bring Brad out. Seager is due up next.
He's going to the pen.
They've had Kroll, and now the lefty is going to come in. So he will go to the bullpen here to set up the lefty. Rondon is out. We'll be back. Strong fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Ian Kroll now has come on here in the 10th inning.
Well, Brad going to go to the lefty-lefty matchup. Kroll not only has Seager up here, but Dustin Ackley came in to pinch run for Mark Trumbo, so he's the on-deck hitter. Another left-handed hitter.
Seager is 1 for 4 in this game. Leadoff walk to Nelson Cruz. And Seager looks at ball 1. 6-6 game. We're in the bottom of the 10th. Swing and a miss. Seager had a rip.
Yeah, he was trying to end it right there. Everything was great except you forgot to watch the ball. You tend to overswing. Guess where your head goes.
Minor detail there, isn't it? That's high. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Kroll needs to come back. Battle this at bat. You do not want to put Cruz over to second base, especially via the walk.
How about these splits? Lefties are batting .282, or this is Seager splits. .282 against lefties, so they don't seem to bother him. There's a wave and a miss, 2-2.
Kroll sneaky fast. Ball clocked at 95. Fastball away.
Kroll gave up 2 earned runs in over 20 innings down in Toledo. Just off the plate. Full count, 3-2.
You know, it's a pitcher's pitch, and you're just hoping that you can get the guy to expand the zone. Seager does a nice job of recognizing that ball's off the plate.
(3-2) Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Gutsy pitch right there. Came back with the breaking ball. Seager hadn't seen one yet. Big out.
Here is Dustin Ackley. Pinch runner back in the 8th. This is his first at bat of the game. He started last night's ball game. Ackley, as a matter of fact, had an RBI triple in last night's game. Five homers this year, batting average in the low 200s. Ball 1 inside. Charlie Furbush, the former Tiger, warming up in the Seattle bullpen. Nelson Cruz let it off with a walk. He's still standing at first with 1 out. He's going 2-0. Ackley takes way high, 3-0.
Making it tough on himself. It's no different than the previous at bat. Again, you want to keep Cruz at first base. Make him hit the ball.
And he walked him. Ackley draws the base on balls. That'll push Cruz to second. And here comes Jonesy again.
Another left-hander, Logan Morrison, due up, so they're going to discuss this. Morrison, we talked about it earlier, has got pretty good pop. Hit a home run in last night's game. He also can hit into a couple double plays, so Somehow, Ian Kroll needs to induce a ground ball right at one of the infielders. Kind of tells a story, especially for the Mariners. That's a department that they've really struggled in this year. Runners in scoring position.
2:08 coming in. And now here is Morrison.
Back-to-back innings now. They've had a chance to win the game. Runner at second base. 1 out.
They're going to play him straight up for the most part. Iglesias shaded toward the bag, so there is a bit of the hole to the left side of the infield. And Morrison looks at a strike, 0-1. Walk and a run scored, otherwise 0 for 3 for Logan Morrison. Way outside. Now they're going to employ the shift here as Iglesias will move to the right of second base.
Yeah, I think Iglesias, he just jogs all around trying to stay loose. I think he's just moving around.
He's just messing around.
Yeah, he's going back. It's clear, though, that Ian Kroll and Alex Avila trying to stay away from Morrison.
Popped him up. Middle of the infield. Infield fly rule in effect here. Morrison retired, 2 gone. That'll bring up Mike Zunino.
And Osmus staying in the dugout. He's got the right-hander Soria ready to come in the game, but he's going to stick with Ian Kroll, the left-hander, to face right-handed hitting Mike Zunino.
Zunino sends a slow ground ball to short. Iglesias will flip to second for the force, and the threat is over. No runs, couple of walks, 2 left. We go to the 11th. Long Jack Link's beef jerky. Feed your wild side.
Now let's look at the game summary so far. Rondon comes in and gets out of the jam in the 9th inning. Tigers have a chance at the top of the 10th. Carson Smith, maybe the only opportunity right there. Cespedes pops up to short to end the inning, so the game is extended. We go to the 11th.
And here is Charlie Furbush to come on and pitch the 11th. Charlie been used quite a bit this year, 32 appearances, 2.18 ERA. He's going to have to go through the teeth of the Tigers lineup. Martinez, and then the number 5 hitter Avila. In a 6-6 game in the 11th inning. Victor in the ball game tonight is 1 for 4. A single back in the 6th. Well, bat right-handed against the lefty Furbush. And it's in there for a strike, 0-1. Tigers have 8 hits in this ball game. The M's have 12. Drilled to left center field. That's going to get down a base hit, and it's going to split the gap and go to the wall. Victor is on his way to second base, and the throw is not in time. A double for Victor Martinez.
Robinson Cano immediately points to his dugout, saying, let's take a second look at this. We knew that Victor was going to have trouble. Austin Jackson got to that ball and relayed it quick. Victor doing everything he can. I think he might have got in there, but there's a chance they might review this. They're looking at it right now in the Mariner dugout, and they are not going to review it. So a leadoff double for Victor, and again, Tigers have a chance. They're going to pinch run for him here.
So Martinez will come out of the game here after the leadoff double. Romine will come on to pinch run. Now we'll see if the Tigers can go ahead. Seattle had their chances in the 9th and 10th, both times getting the winning run to second with 1 out. Victor legs out a double, and JD will not bat with first base open. Alex Avila waiting on deck. They will walk Martinez intentionally. Brad Ausmus making the changes on his lineup card. So there's the intentional walk.
Back in the 4th inning, Alex Avila going oppo. Again, in case you're joining us super late back in Michigan, all the runs in today's game have come via the home run.
So the Tigers using Romine here to pinch run. They still have Davis, McCann, Marte on the bench. And Charlie Furbush now will have to face Avila with 2 on, nobody out. 9 Tigers hits now. Soria again throwing in the Detroit bullpen. Avila showing bunt, lets it go by for ball 1.
Well, he's going to have to get it down the third baseline. The problem is he's got to get it by Furbush, the pitcher, who's going to fall off towards the third baseline. Seager holding over at third because they have to have a play at third. So you got Morrison charging from the right side at first base. Alex needs to get it down towards Seager at third if he is bunting.
And is bunted foul. Avila has 1 sacrifice this year. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'm sure there's a few folks wondering why maybe McCann isn't hitting here, the right-hander. Well, he will probably be catching. We got an extra inning game here, a night game with a quick turnaround tomorrow and a day game, so McCann will probably catch tomorrow's game.
That bunt is popped up, but it just lands foul. Got a break there.
So now with 2 strikes, does he keep the bunt on, or does he go ahead and give Alex a swing? Again, another opportunity to get a bunt down that is lost. See it just too often at the major league level. Too many guys having trouble getting a bunt down.
So we'll see if the bunt stays on here with 2 strikes. He'll swing and he'll take strike 3. Never got the bat off his shoulder, and that is out number 1. Let him swing away with 2 strikes. Did not have the bunt on, and down he goes. So now here is Castellanos. Nick this season 3-11 with men in scoring position.
Well, he homered in his first at bat. That was back in the 2nd inning with the runner aboard, but has struck out his last 2 times up, one off Lowe and one off Smith.
Swing and a miss. 0-1 on Nick Castellanos. Looks like Rajay has moved to the on deck circle. The lefty Krause was due next.
Tough for a hitter in this situation. You want to be the hero, but to stay within the strike zone, you know the situation as a pitcher. Sometimes you throw one and waste one to see how anxious he is. And before you know it, Nick Castellanos finds himself 0-2 in the count.
Furbush allowed the double to Martinez. They pinch run for him. JD was walked intentionally. And 1 out now and an 0-2 count on Castellanos. Outside, wouldn't chase it. Mariners tonight have used Lowe, Rodney, Smith for a couple of innings, and now Furbush here in the 11th. Here's the 1-2. Runner breaks to third base and a swing and a miss. Stealing third, Romine, but there are 2 outs now. Castellanos is out of there.
Romine gets a great jump here. Pitcher didn't even look, but Castellanos swinging out of the zone on a breaking ball. And now the Mariners have 2 down. Rajay Davis going to come up and hit.
So the go-ahead run at third base now, first and third. And here is Rajay Davis. 3 for 14 this year as a pinch hitter with 1 pinch hit RBI. Rajay checked it, went around, strike 1. Oh, 0-1 on Davis. Rajay has seen his playing time cut dramatically. Anthony Ghost pretty much has been out there every day. Rajay has had to keep sharp in other ways. The 0-1. Strike called. 0-2 on Davis.
Well, Tigers hoping history repeats itself. Last year on May 20th, Rajai Davis off Charlie Furbush right here at Safeco. It's a home run.
Ooh, it wasn't a cheapie either.
No, that was upper tank. But he's in the hole here.
0-2. One ball, 2 strikes on Rajai. Furbush got himself in trouble by allowing the leadoff double to Victor Martinez. Ghost waiting on deck. Neither team has scored since Cespedes hit the home run in the 8th to tie it. Just got a piece and he banged it off his foot.
He's wearing that ankle protector, but that one got his toes.
Ouch. Kerwin Danley giving Davis as much time as he possibly can here. Rajai trying to walk it off. One ball, 2 strikes. Runners hit first and third, 2 outs in the 11th. Pull that one foul. Rajai got out in front of it. Still tell he's trying to get the feeling back into the toes. Romine to go ahead run at third base. He has just stolen third. Davis, or I should say Martinez at first, with Davis up there. Now again the 1-2. Swing. Misses. Struck him out. Oh, the Tigers let a good opportunity go by the wayside. Furbush strikes out the side. The game for a fireworks spectacular. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Well, we go to the bottom of the 11th inning. Jeffrey Marte will come in to play first base.
Yeah, Mark Krause was pinch hit for.
So it's going to be Miller to lead things off for Seattle. Miller and then Jackson and then Gutierrez facing the lefty Ian Kroll, who came on in the 10th inning after the leadoff walk by Rondon. And the first one almost hit him. 1 ball, no strikes. Miller came on a pinch run.
It's the battle of the bullpens. Extra inning ball game.
Here's the 1-0. When you have a pitcher that is knocked out early in the game, which Kyle Ryan was in the 3rd, and you need to lean on your bullpen to get through the rest of the game, extra innings is not something you like to see.
It also puts a lot of pressure on tomorrow's starter Anibal Sanchez. Only Jeff Farrell and Joaquin Soria haven't gotten out of the game.
The base hit to left center field. A leadoff single for Miller, and Seattle now for the 3rd straight inning gets the leadoff man on. Brad Miller is aboard. Well, Jackson in this situation bunted in the 9th inning. Is he doing the same here in the 11th?
I see no reason why they wouldn't. They need to get that runner in scoring position, give the heart of the lineup another chance.
Throw back, and Miller back in standing up.
Sometime that throw to first base is more of an intent to see if there's any indication that Austin Jackson might square early to see if he's bunting. It's kind of more to check out the hitter than really to try to keep the runner at first base.
But it fouled, and that one bit Avila.
Yeah, he's in pain. See where it gets him.
Catch him in the throw?
Yeah, it might have. You know, a catcher is kind of vulnerable in those bunt situations. He's popping up early because he has to jump out of the catcher's position and try to become a fielder in case the bunt is bunted short. And he's not in a position to really protect himself much on a foul tip.
And it's bunted foul, so Jackson unable to get it done. He's behind in the count 0-2.
Well, will they keep it on or will they take it off? Same scenario that Ausmus had with Avila in the last half inning.
The bunt that Jackson had in the 9th was only his 2nd sacrifice of the year. 0-2.
If you're Ian Kroll, you can't throw a cookie here either.
Ooh, it was close. 1-2 on Austin. Ground ball, 3rd base side, deep behind the bag. They'll go to 2nd. Throw there. Got him. Oh, man. It was close.
Brad Miller, he's coming off the field, so usually the runner will give you an indication of whether he thinks he beat the throw or not. They're certainly going to look at it in the Mariner dugout, but nope, they're not challenging it. Castellanos kind of caught a break. It's really the only play he had. Jackson gets down the line well. Oh my, it's like Kinsler's foot came off the bag.
Boy, was that close.
Yeah, it was close. Hurry up and throw the pitch so they can't review it.
So here is Franklin Gutierrez. Now at first base is Jackson, who has good speed. Gutierrez struck out with a man at second in the ninth inning, trying to win the game. Trying to do all he can to keep Jackson close at first base. He'd give anything right now for a double play ball with Robinson Cano waiting on deck. Strike call.
Take one more look at the play at second base. Throw. See that right there was a very good angle. It shows that Kinsler had his foot on the bag while he caught the ball, and that's why they didn't challenge him.
Way outside. One ball, one strike. Seattle had a single in the ninth, 2 walks in the 10th, leadoff single here in the 11th.
That really showing their displeasure with any throw over to first base.
One, the runner goes, and it's fouled back out of play. Jackson was on the move, but now it's 1-2. You can see that he's been caught 7 times with 8 stolen bases, so the percentage not very good.
Well, this is where managers try to get involved in the game. It's been tough for either side to get the runners in once they're in scoring position, so Mariners trying to get him over to second base.
Sliced foul back out of play. Gutierrez had a home run that was back in the 3rd. Jackson had hit a grand slam, and Franklin followed it up. Back-to-back homers. His first of the year was his first home run in a big league game since September of 2013. I mentioned that he missed all of 14 with that arthritic condition that he has. Another throwback. Ooh, says the crowd. Tigers tonight have been out hit 13-9. 6-6 in the 11th, and another throwback in the bag. And another throw. The crowd's getting fired up now, Jack.
Extra inning ball game. Both sides a little bit frustrated, had opportunities. They both had their chances. Really, if you're Ian Kroll, the one thing you can do, if you think that he might be going, just hold the ball. Just pause a little bit longer than you normally would.
Ground ball left side, base hit. Jackson on his way to second will stop there, and Franklin Gutierrez with a single to push the go-ahead run and winning run to second base.
Sometimes the focus on the runner distracts your ability to focus on the hitter and where you want to throw the ball. That one center cut home plate a little too much. Gutierrez was able to find a hole on the left side.
So Robinson Cano will stand in. Seattle putting the leadoff man on in the last 3 innings, 9th, 10th, and the 11th. They're trying to win it here in the 11th. Here is Cano. Ball one inside. Of course, anything hit to left field with Cespedes out there, it'll be interesting.
Well, and the other thing is Cano is very good at being able to shoot the ball the other way. They've got a little bit of a shift on with Iglesias playing almost just to the shortstop side of second base, so there's a lot of room for Cano to shoot the ball to the left side. Outfield shaded a little bit to the left. They've got Ghost played a little towards left field.
Strike call. 1-1. Cano flied out in the 9th inning with the winning run at second base. Shallow fly ball to left field. That ended the 9th inning. Now the 1-1. 2-1 on Robinson Cano.
Well, it's been a long night. Both teams having chances, but this is such an important game for the Tigers. Kansas City won 2 today. The Tigers have to figure out a way to stay in this game, extend the game.
Here's the 2-1. Drill to right field. That ball is going to end it up against the wall. Jackson will come around to score. Robinson Cano walks it off for Seattle. Cano's RBI single wins it in the 11th for Seattle. The Tigers had a chance in the 11th to go ahead, but they could not score, and Seattle wins it in the bottom of the inning.
Well, you don't throw the ball up out over the heart of the plate to Robinson Cano. He's been one of the game's better hitters. He didn't miss it. And it was as simple as that. That ends it.
(7-6). Cano will get credit for an RBI single, and he's mobbed by his teammates. A 15-hit night for Seattle tonight. Final score 7-6 in 11. We'll be back.